can't want something that you don't have and be a vibrational match to it. You have to be what you want, and then you can have it. In other words, you have to feel prosperity. You've got to practice the feeling of prosperity even though the dollars that are in your current bank account may not reflect the 94 million that's on its way to you. You have to take the emotional journey there even before you've taken the financial journey. And that's the thing that most people have a very difficult time doing, because most people let their vibration be completely in response to the life that they are observing. And that's the part that you have to work on. The work is you have to find a way of distracting yourself from the absence of the money while you activate within yourself a feeling of the money. So things like feeling appreciation for the prosperity that you are living, feeling appreciation for the possibility of more coming. In fact, we'd like to say that even when you get into an attitude of hope, you're much closer in vibration to allowing it than when you are in the vibration of doubt. You just got to figure out how to do it, because until you do, you can't have the state of being that you want to achieve. You have to find the vibrational essence of it. We want you to realize that when you feel sarcastic, when you feel pessimistic, it's a far cry from feeling optimistic and hopeful. So how do I let my fortune come to me and me come to my fortune? It's by pretending that it's already done, by taking pieces of the fortune and mentally expending it, by imagining how much fun it will be to have it, to enjoy the feeling of relief even before you have the actual reason to feel the relief, by caring so much about the way you feel that you guide your thoughts apart from the reality. How do I get from where I am to where I want to be? And the answer is look in the direction of where you want to be and speak in the direction of where you want to be, and never again look back over your shoulder about where you have come from. And if you can pull that one off, as soon as tomorrow, you'll have evidence of your veritable fortune. If you said, universe, I could sure use more money, there's very little discord in that vibration. And if you offered that sentiment often and until you came to expect it, so that your words naturally morphed to, universe, I certainly could use more money. I certainly expect more money to flow to me. In that soft, non-resistant expectation, more money would begin flowing to you. But when you say, universe, I know that there's this incredibly large, understood by almost no one, pile of money sitting over there, and I would like it to come into my pile. The vibrational discord is so huge that you can tell by the way you feel when you talk about it, that while you might occasionally come into the arena of hopefulness, that mostly you don't expect that even as you offer the words. And we've never known anyone who could hype their words up enough to make that vibrational jump. So imagine a society where billions of people are asking, and Source is holding for each of them the equivalent of what they're asking for. Only in this physical environment that we are describing, these billions have been working for alignment with who they are. And so when they ask, they don't doubt if they will receive. They don't worry. They don't feel competition of others. They don't squabble over resources. They don't push against others. They don't try to make others wrong so that they can be right. They just ask and receive. You've got to understand the laws of the universe. You've got to understand the two vibrational aspects of you. You've got to be willing to move in the direction of what you want and no longer continue to beat the drum of what caused you to ask for it to begin with. In other words, when you are struggling with money, you're asking all day, all day, all day, all day, all day, all day for more money. But as you continue to beat the drum of, I don't have enough, and it's not fair that he's got too much, and somebody should do something about it, and it's not being evenly proportioned, and there are too many people that are taking too big of a slice of the pie, and there are not enough of us getting enough pieces of the pie, as you are beating those drums, you are depriving yourself of the vibrational attitude that is necessary for you to get what you've been asking for. So your fortune just keeps amassing. We've been calling this your vibrational reality. We've been calling it your vibrational escrow. Your vibrational fortune, and it's not just a vibrational fortune, it's a real fortune that will manifest. Your fortune is being held for you in this vibrational bank, so to speak, and nobody has access to it but you. Nobody can get in there and take your escrow. But you know what happens with so many of you? You don't get in there and receive it either. You stand on the outside of it and complain about not having it when you're the only one who can get in there where it is. And we want you to understand that this in there where it is this vibrational escrow. It's a vibrational reality, and we're going to call it the vortex. The vortex of well-being that you have created for yourself. You put some of it there before you were even born into this body. You've put much of it there since you got there, and everything that life has caused you to ask for is there, not just waiting for you. It's there with law of attraction's response to it. Each and every request that you put there, law of attraction is responding to. And there is a veritable vortex, and we are emphasizing the vortex because we want you to feel the magnetic quality of it. We want you to understand that when you ask for something, everything that is necessary for the fulfillment of this that you have asked for is being summoned to it. You just begin changing your dialogue. You make friends with where you are. You make friends with the life that you've lived that gave you the wherewithal to want that kind of money. In other words, you've lived a lot of life. You've lived a lot of contrast. You've been asking and asking and asking. And we're not kidding you, and you're not kidding us either when you say that you are wanting to lay claim to this fortune that you've put there. We're all in complete agreement about that. The only thing that we're not in agreement with yet is that we know that it's yours, and we know you can find access to it, and you don't know that yet because you haven't practiced it enough to know it, because you're still, human being that you are, you're letting the evidence that manifests be the criteria that makes you believe. We're letting what's in your vortex be the criteria that makes us believe, you see. You've got to be chronically over here in the vibration of well-being, and when you are, the universe will say, well, here's a way, well, here's a way, well, here's a way, well, here's a way. When you're in the vortex, this I did, this I did, this I did, this I did, and it is not inconceivable. In fact, it is completely conceivable that when you hang around in the vortex and you're feeling tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you could be inspired to stop at the 7-Eleven and inspired to the timing of the ticket and inspired to buying the ticket that is the winning of the lottery. But you got to be in the vortex to do that, and you don't do that just all of a sudden. I believe that it's there. I believe that there's a gap in my expectation. I believe that there's a gap in my expectation. I believe that I can close the gap in my expectation. I believe that my emotions are my key to closing the gap in my expectation. I believe that hopeful is in the vicinity of the vortex. I believe that believing is inside the vortex. I believe that knowing is in the vortex in a chronic, consistent enough way. I believe that I have access to these dollars. I believe that these dollars are there for me. I believe that there's a path to them that will be an easy path for me. I believe that the path is through the vortex. I believe the path is through my emotions. I believe the path is through the alignment with source energy that is really the larger part of me. I believe that my emotions tell me truly. I believe that when I'm frustrated, I'm not there. I believe that when I'm hopeful, I'm closer. I believe that when I'm happy, I'm there. I believe that when I appreciate, I'm there. I believe that when I make peace with what is, I'm there. I believe that when I appreciate the process of my life that caused me to put this solution there, that I'm there. I love every struggle that I've lived because that's been the fodder that put this there. I believe that the well-being that I've lived and the well-being that hasn't felt so much like well-being has put it there for me. I know that I'm the creator of my own reality. I know that these things are true. I know that I get to live the manifestational version of all of that. I believe that I can live the manifestational version of that. I think there's evidence all over this planet of people who stood right where I'm standing in terms of finances, who had a vortex just like I do that was all queued up for them, and they just found the way in. And I don't have to find the identical way in. I don't have to run around and look for people and say, how'd you get your money? How'd you get your money? How'd you get your money? Because it's different for every one of us. But one thing is a common denominator about anyone who has succeeded in anything that they've been reaching for, they found a way to be a vibrational match to what they were asking for. And that's all I've got to do. That's the peace I'm looking for.